Stop up your beer and collect your fags. There's a row going on down near Epping. Get out your mats and pray to the west. I'll get out mine and pray for myself. My name's Tom. Welcome to my 5-minute Friday vlog on the 29th of August. So I'm an author, consultant, educator, speaker, trainer, former NHS whistleblower, now full-time PhD student. A couple of things I want to talk to you about this week. The first is, it's not about the peach slices, right? It's not about the peach slices. I'm going to tell you about Derren Brown and a brilliant show that my wife and I went to some years ago, where Derren does this trick where he gets everybody so engaged in what he's doing, right? Some of you might have been to see him, you might know this, yeah? He gets everybody so engaged in what he's doing that while he's talking away to you, there is somebody in a gorilla suit, right? Walking across stage, waving, walking across stage, and then disappears, right? And then after it, he says, did anybody notice the gorilla, right? And everybody's looking around going, what gorilla? What's he on about, right? And what he's doing is he's pointing out what many of you, I'm sure, will know, which is that if I can direct your attention in one area, it'll stop you looking somewhere else, right? And this week, I see lots of people's attention has been directed towards the peach slices and the finger buns at a buffet, right? Video's doing the rounds. It's a fascinating video with this kind of weird AI-generated voice, where somebody who's called a whistleblower, and it's a really interesting interpretation of a whistleblower, by the way, because people who put pictures of food on social media are nothing new. Let's be honest about that, yeah. So somebody's put some videos on line which show asylum seekers, allegedly, in a hotel, having a nice buffet. Who would begrudge them that, right? Who would begrudge them that, yeah? And what's happening is, people are going nuts about the fact that this is taxpayers' money and it's terrible, isn't it? And the food looks far too good and da-da-da-da-da. Really? Is it really about the peach slices? I mean, the really interesting bit of the video, right, that's just skipped over, is that this AI voice that's, talking over it says, people are shocked that in a country with so many food banks where people are in need, we are giving food to illegal immigrants and asylum seekers. Bad voiceover, I get that. But that's the issue, isn't it? That's the real issue. The food banks, that's the real issue. The fact that we've got food banks, not the fact that we're giving too many fruit slices to some people in a hotel somewhere, right? The real issue is that we've got thousands of food banks, twice the number of food banks than we've got McDonald's. What does that say about this country and how we've let it go? So if you're going to call yourself a patriot, whatever that means, by the way, I'm not sure there's a useful definition of that, but if you're going to call yourself a patriot and get excited about the peach slices without actually doing something about the food banks, then fair play to you, but you go and do your thing. And we should be looking in so many more directions, though, shouldn't we, right? So we've got utility companies absolutely taking the mick out of us, right? Something rotten. I don't know how many of you have been subjected to massive increases this year, but we all know that ends up in shareholder pockets, right? So we, the British public, paying profits for water. Can you get your head around that? Profits for water. And we're just happily going along with that, aren't they? We've got corporations, right, who want to pay low wages and also avoid their taxes. And many of the people working for these same corporations are then getting benefits that the public are paying for because the corporations aren't paying them enough. That's worth getting agitated and excited about, right? Not the peach slices, yeah? Then you've got a government that is essentially complicit in a genocide, right? It's happening. Right now, it's happening. There's a genocide happening in Gaza, and the UK government is complicit in that, right? That's worth getting agitated about. We have gambling companies who have put the equivalent of Las Vegas in the pockets of every consumer of almost every age in this country. We now have a teenage gambling addiction problem. Can you get your head around that? A teenage gambling addiction problem, and male suicide is, amongst certain age groups, under 45s, I believe, is the highest taker of lives in the country, right? Ahead of other chronic diseases and conditions. And a lot of those suicides, by the way, are directly attributable to gambling debt. When I say a lot, okay, let's keep it in proportion. Some are, yeah. And we've got people who are experiencing mental health breakdowns, marriage breakdowns, the loss of everything they have because of gambling addictions. That's worth getting agitated about, right? It's not about the peach slices, right? What's happening is the press are doing a Derren Brown. They've been doing it for a long time, I get that. But the press are doing this, Darren Brown saying, look over here, there's something exciting. Oh, look, there's some asylum seekers having a buffet. But actually over here, you're having the mick taken out of you. Big style, right? And you're ignoring that. You're not getting agitated about that. And you should be, right? You should be writing letters. If you're, I appreciate not everybody's quite as Victor Meldrew as I am, but I write letters to people, old school, snail mail, yeah, because sometimes they don't reply to their emails. Surprise, surprise. I write letters to people about the things that matter to me, and I get answers, and I pursue them until I get answers, yeah. I would suggest you might try doing that. If you've got time to rant on Facebook about peach slices, then drop a letter to your MP about something that you're passionate about, or drop a letter to an organisation or a company, a utilities company, whoever it might be, about something that you're passionate about, and get the answers that you want, yeah? Then you've got this dickhead, J.D. Vance, haven't you, stepping in, going, hey, what's he actually saying? Let's have a look. He said, J.D. Vance tells patriotic Britons to push back against the crazies offended by St. George's flag. He's like a Camp Hitler, isn't he? He's the sort of like a reality TV, Love Island version of a fascist dictator, isn't he? With this sort of nice makeup all done well, sort of bits kind of cross-dressy, transvestry look sort of thing, but a dangerous man nonetheless, right? And he's doing the classic thing to his people that we're all having done to us. He's saying to them, hey, look over at Britain, look how crazy things are getting in Britain, where what's happening over there, as we all know, is that things are utterly crazy over there. People are shooting each other for fun, and he's distracting attention from their own internal problems by getting them to look in another direction. This is an old school trick. We should all know about this by now, yeah. So when people are trying to get you to look in one direction, just ask the question, why am I being pointed in that direction? And start to ask what else is going on around you. Trust me, it's not about the peach slices. On that note, I'm going to love you and leave you. Have a good weekend. Try and stay safe, try and stay solvent, and try and stay sane amongst all this madness if you can. Ciao.